Part of every life insurance application is a medical background check. If it's a smaller policy, if it's a shorter term, if you're relatively young and healthy, no big red flags, then a questionnaire is probably going to be enough for the insurance company to make that decision. But if it's a little more money, if it's a little longer term policy, if there is any complications in your personal or your family medical history, then the insurance company is going to want to take some extra steps, and they're probably going to send a nurse out to do a paramedical exam. Now, the stereotype holds. Guys in particular don't give the most respect to these medical exams and maybe don't put any effort into making sure that they look their best. But you got to look at it this way. This exam is the biggest deciding factor in the prices you're going to pay for that life insurance for the next 10 or 20 or more years. So the difference between a bad exam and a good exam could be thousands or tens of thousands of dollars out of your pocket. Now, the biggest thing they look for, especially in guys, is blood pressure. That's the silent killer. And unfortunately, blood pressure is one of those things that can spike or drop significantly with a little bit of help. So if you're not careful and your blood pressure is particularly high when the nurse does their tests, that goes on the record. They don't come back to double check. That just gets sent into the insurance company. You've got a huge red flag against you, and you could see your premiums go up 2 or 3 times the original quote. Now, I'm not talking about lying or faking anything on your tests, but there are steps you can take to make sure that you look as good as possible. Make sure you get a good night's sleep. Don't have a big strenuous workout planned. Make sure you stay away from caffeine and nicotine and other stimulants. If you have a really crappy day at work, if you have a big fight with your spouse, if your kids are driving you nuts, anything gets your blood pressure up is going to affect your bottom line. So don't be afraid to cancel or reschedule the nurse's visit. If things are looking good and you're good to go ahead with it, then make sure you don't have coffee right before. Have a really nice hot shower right before the nurse shows up. Meditate if that's something you're into. Whatever it takes to get yourself as calm and serene as possible is going to make you look as good as possible to that nurse's exam, and it's going to save you a lot of money over the life of the policy.